Just imagine, you're in a room full of people. Maybe it's a meeting at work. Maybe it's a dinner with friends. Maybe it's a conversation with someone you trusted. And then it happens. Someone says something. A comment, a dismissal, a joke at your expense. And everyone hears it. You feel it hit you like a cold wave. Your chest tightens. Your mind goes blank. You open your mouth and nothing comes out. So you do what most people do. You smile it off. You look away. You shrink. And you walk out of that room smaller than when you walked in. That moment stays with you. In the shower. Before you sleep. You replay it. You think of all the things you should have said. But it's too late. And deep down, you know, it will happen again. Because it always does. But what if it didn't? What if, in that exact same moment, instead of freezing, you shifted? What if the room went quiet not because of what you said, but because of how you looked at them? What if the person who disrespected you suddenly felt something cold run through them, and they didn't even know why? That's not a fantasy. That's a skill. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly how it works. Before we go any deeper, I need to say something to you directly. Most people who watch videos like this will nod along, feel something powerful for a few minutes, and then go back to living the exact same life. The same people will walk over them. The same moments will crush them. Nothing will change, but you're still here. That means something. If you are someone who is done being treated like you don't matter, hit that subscribe button right now. Not for me, for you. Think of it as a decision, a line in the sand. The moment you said, I am no longer the person who gets pushed around. Hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications, because every video on this channel is built for one type of person, the one who refuses to stay small. Now, let's get into it. Here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud. People don't disrespect you by accident. They disrespect you because something in you invites it. Not because you're weak, not because you're stupid, but because you're sending out signals, invisible ones, that tell other people it's safe to cross you. Think about a wolf pack. Every wolf knows its place, not because anyone sat down and explained it, but because each wolf broadcasts its position through energy, posture, stillness, and response. The wolves at the bottom flinch. They look away first. They move out of the way before they're asked to, and the pack treats them accordingly. You've been doing the same thing, and you didn't even know it. There are 3 invisible signals that invite disrespect, and most people are sending all 3 at once. The first is reactive energy. When someone pokes you and you immediately react, you get loud, you get defensive, you explain yourself, you've just shown them where your buttons are. And once someone knows your buttons, they own you. Every time they want to feel powerful, they'll press them. Your reaction is their reward. The second signal is the need for approval. This one is silent but deadly. It shows up when you laugh too quickly at someone's joke, when you agree even when you disagree, when you apologize for things that aren't your fault. People sense this need in you like a shark senses blood in water, and they use it, because if you need their approval, they can always threaten to take it away. The third signal is predictability. When people can always guess what you'll do, when they know you'll stay quiet, smile, and let it go, they stop respecting you. Not because they hate you, but because there are no consequences. Disrespecting you costs them nothing. You haven't been fighting the right battle. You've been trying to fix your words, your tone, your arguments. But the problem was never what you said. It was the energy underneath it. That's what we're going to fix. 500 years ago, a man named Niccolo Machiavelli wrote something that still makes people uncomfortable today. He said, "It is better to be feared than loved, because love depends on the other person. Fear depends on you." Now, before you misunderstand, he wasn't talking about making people terrified of you. He wasn't talking about violence or cruelty. He was talking about something much more precise. He was talking about consequence. Real fear in human relationships is not about terror. It's about the quiet awareness in someone's mind that crossing you will cost them something. That's it. That's the whole formula. Think about the most powerful person you've ever met. Not the loudest, not the most aggressive, the most powerful. Chances are they were calm. They spoke slowly. They didn't chase anyone's approval. And when someone crossed a line, there was a response. Not an explosion, a response. Cold, clear, and final. That's what other people felt. Not fear like a child fears the dark, but fear like a chess player fears making the wrong move against a master. The awareness that this person thinks ahead, that there are consequences you haven't seen yet. Here's the psychology behind it. Human beings are constantly calculating. Every interaction, your brain is running a background program asking, what does this person cost me if I cross them? If the answer is nothing, disrespect follows naturally. Not out of evil, out of instinct. Love is built on how someone makes you feel, and feelings change. Someone who loves you today can resent you tomorrow if you disappoint them. But consequence doesn't change. If a person knows that disrespecting you leads to losing something, your time, your energy, your presence, your business, they will think twice. Every time. Machiavelli understood something that most modern advice completely ignores. You cannot beg people into respecting you. You cannot explain your way into their regard. You have to build the kind of presence that makes the cost of disrespect obvious, without ever having to say it out loud. That's what the next section is about. Now we get to the part you came here for. Someone disrespects you. In public. In the moment. What do you actually do? Most people do one of two things. They explode, they get loud, emotional, reactive. Or they collapse, they go quiet, look down, and let it pass. Both of these responses do the same thing. They hand the power to the other person. There is a third option, and it starts in the next 5 seconds. The moment someone disrespects you, stop. Don't speak. Don't move quickly. Don't fill the silence. Just stop. This is called the 5-second reframe. And it works because silence in a tense moment is not empty. It's heavy. When you go quiet and still after someone crosses you, the entire dynamic shifts. Suddenly, they are the one who said something. And you are the one deciding what it means. While you're silent, you turn toward them. Slowly. Not snapping your head around in anger. Slowly. Like you have all the time in the world. Because you do. This is the first micro-behavior, the slow turn. It signals that you are not rattled. It signals that you are in control of your own body. And when someone sees that you didn't flinch, didn't rush, didn't react, something changes in them. A small alarm goes off. This person is different. The second micro-behavior is the lowered voice. When most people get disrespected, their voice goes up. It gets faster, higher, louder. That's the sound of someone losing control. The powerful move is the opposite. When you finally speak, speak lower. Speak slower. Like each word was chosen carefully. Because it was. A low, slow voice doesn't sound angry. It sounds certain. And certainty is more intimidating than anger. Anger tells people you're emotional. Certainty tells people you've already decided. The third micro-behavior is the delayed response. You don't have to answer right away. In fact, you shouldn't. Take a breath. Look at them for a moment longer than feels comfortable. And then, if you speak at all, say something simple. Something calm. Something that makes clear you saw exactly what they did and you are not afraid of it. You don't need a perfect comeback. The greatest comeback is sometimes just nothing. Looking at someone and saying nothing calmly while they sit in the weight of what they just did, that is devastating. It forces them to hear their own words echo back. And often they are the ones who break first. Think about a predator in the wild. A lion doesn't chase every animal that runs. It goes still. It watches. That stillness is not weakness. It is complete control. And every other animal in that field knows it. You are training yourself to be still, to let the moment breathe, to let them feel the weight of the silence. Because in that silence, the power transfers. Here's something you need to prepare for. Some people will test you twice. You respond with stillness. You hold the moment, and they back off for now. But later they try again. A little push here, a small comment there. They're testing to see if the first time was real or just a performance. This is where most people fail. They handled the first moment, but they have no plan for the second one. So they go back to their old patterns. And all the ground they gained, gone. The answer is what I call consequence stacking. Every time someone pushes, the cost goes up. Not in an emotional, dramatic way. In a quiet, calculated way. Think of it like a chess player. You're not reacting to the move in front of you. You're thinking 3 moves ahead. You already know what this pattern leads to, and you're comfortable with the ending. The first tool in escalation is withdrawal of attention. When someone disrespects you a second time, you don't argue. You don't explain. You simply become less available. You respond slower. You engage less. You stop offering your energy freely. This is not pettiness. This is consequence. You are showing, without words, that access to you is a privilege and it can be reduced. The second tool is public reframing. If someone disrespects you in front of others, you do not match their energy. Instead, you reframe the moment calmly in front of the same people. You say something that makes clear, without aggression, that you saw what happened and you are not accepting it. A calm, clear statement in a group setting is 10 times more powerful than a private argument, because now there are witnesses to who you are. The third tool is strategic indifference. This is the most powerful and the most difficult. You simply stop caring visibly, not in a cold, dramatic way, but you move forward. You laugh. You engage with others. You make it clear that this person's attempts to unsettle you are not even registering. Nothing destroys a person's power over you faster than watching you thrive in spite of them. The cold exit is the final move. When someone has pushed one too many times, you remove yourself. Not with a speech, not with a goodbye. You just go, and you stay gone. The absence says everything. Here's the layer that most people never reach. Everything we've talked about so far is reactive. What to do when someone disrespects you. But the truly powerful people live in a different zone entirely. They've built a reputation so strong, so carefully managed, that most people never even consider disrespecting them in the first place. This is perception management, and it is the highest level of the Machiavellian method. The first principle is mystery as armor. The less people know about you, the more they imagine. And what people imagine is almost always more powerful than the reality. When you talk too much, you give people a map of your mind. They know your opinions, your fears, your desires. And people always use maps to find weaknesses. Speak less. Share less. Let people wonder. A person who says little but means everything they say becomes someone others are careful around. They don't know what you're thinking. And that uncertainty is a form of protection. The second principle is letting your track record intimidate. You don't need to threaten anyone. You don't need to warn anyone. You simply need to have a history of following through. If people have seen or heard that when you set a boundary, you hold it, that when you walk away, you stay away, that when you make a decision, it's final, then your reputation walks into the room before you do. You don't build this overnight. You build it through consistent, small moments of holding your own line. Every time you don't apologize for something that wasn't your fault, every time you follow through on a consequence you said you'd give, every time you stay calm when others expect you to break, you are adding another layer to your armor. The third principle is controlled unpredictability. Powerful people are not completely predictable. They break the pattern just enough to keep others slightly uncertain. Not in a chaotic way, but in a way that says, I cannot be fully mapped. And when people can't map you, they are careful with you. Think of an iceberg. What you see above the water is calm, composed, unreadable. But what's beneath, the depth, the weight, the history, that's what people sense without seeing. Show little, imply much. That implication is your greatest weapon. Everything you've just heard means nothing if you don't use it. So here are 4 things you can start doing today, not someday, not next week, today. The first is a reaction audit. For the next 24 hours, pay attention to every time you react quickly and emotionally. Every time you rush to explain yourself, defend yourself, or fill silence with words. Don't change anything yet. Just notice. You cannot fix what you haven't seen. By the end of the day, you'll have a clear picture of exactly where your power is leaking. The second is the 1-week silence experiment. In group settings this week, speak less than usual. Not because you have nothing to say, but to practice the discipline of choosing your words. Notice how the dynamic changes when you speak less but with more weight. People lean in. They pay more attention. Your words start to matter more simply because there are fewer of them. The third is practicing stillness. When something irritates you today, a rude comment, a frustrating message, a small disrespect, pause before you respond. 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Practice holding that stillness even when everything in you wants to react. This is a muscle, and like any muscle, the only way to build it is to use it repeatedly in small moments until it becomes your default. The fourth is an inner circle audit. Look at the people around you. Who consistently makes you feel small? Who pushes the same boundaries over and over? Who do you keep making exceptions for? You do not have to make a dramatic exit from every difficult relationship, but you do need to be honest with yourself about who is draining your power and start pulling back, quietly, consistently, permanently. Change doesn't announce itself. It accumulates. Every small choice you make this week is a brick, and bricks, laid one by one, build walls that nothing can break through. Think back to the beginning of this video. That moment, the room, the comment, the freeze, the walk of shame out the door. Now imagine the same moment 30 days from now. You've been practicing the stillness. You've audited your reactions. You've started speaking less and meaning more. You've pulled back from the people who took you for granted. You've held your line, quietly, consistently, without explanation. And now someone tries it again. But this time, you don't freeze. You turn slowly. You hold the moment. Your voice, when it comes, is low and calm and final. And the room feels it. They feel it. Not because you screamed, not because you threatened, but because something in them recognizes, this person has changed. This person is not safe to cross anymore. You don't need to announce the change. They will feel it. That is the Machiavellian truth at the heart of everything we've covered today. Power is not given. It is built, silently, carefully, one held moment at a time. And when it's real, it needs no introduction. You came to this video for a reason. You already knew something had to change. The information is now in your hands. The only question left is whether you'll use it. If this video gave you something real, subscribe. Watch the next one, because this is just the beginning of what you're going to learn here. The person they'll fear tomorrow is already inside you. It's time to let them out.